Ela disse que percebe, mas eu fiz-lhe uma pergunta, disse-lhe uma frase muito simples, ela não percebeu nada.
Sometimes, like now I understand. Now I understand.
Okay.
Sometimes I get it and sometimes I don't.
Não sei, faço em inglês.
You can mix like.
It's too confused for me. Or I enter in English mode or Portuguese. I don't like to mix.
Okay.
Otherwise, you said you did one time, but then you lose some things in both. So maybe just if não percebes alguma coisa disso. Okay. So we are going to continue from last talk. Last talk, we talked about before that we talked about the 8 limbs of Ashtanga Yoga, and we are talking about the 2 first limbs. So we have Yamas, we did last talk. Niyamas, we're going to do this talk. And then we have asanas, the postures, physical postures. We have pranayama, the breathing, pratyahara, absence of the senses, control of the senses. Dharana, concentration, dhyana, meditation, and samadhi. Okay, so this is the 8 steps of yoga according to Patanjali, which are in Yoga Sutras. The first one is the yamas. We did last talk. It's about moral conduct. You know, the actions we have for others. Okay, is non-violence, truth, non-stealing, brahmacharya, which is control of the energies. And aparigraha, which is non-attachment. You can see that and listen to the other one. And today we're going to speak about the niyamas. You can look at this if you want. The niyamas today, which are, you can see this if you want, which are the 5 personal values to apply with our own selves. Okay? So first is the actions to have towards others, and now we're going to talk to ourselves. It's more internal, okay? It's with us. And the first one is saucha. Saucha. Is it good? Yeah. Saucha, which is cleanliness, purity. So here is cleanliness outside and inside, internal and external. Okay, so we take a bath, we take a shower. That's more external, and cleanse our thoughts, our words. Yes, so this is more internal. Purifying mentally and physically. Okay, this purification brings the shine of our essence. Okay, allows this shine of our essence to come up. Okay. If we don't have the inner conflict in our minds, we will live in harmony and more happy. If we have internal conflict, we cannot be happy, you know, because there's always doubts, there's always things coming, you know, and we are identifying with these thoughts, with this, and we can never. We are not in harmony and not happy. One thought is telling us something, other is other thing, and we get a bit confused. Okay, so this is important to have this cleanliness and purification, which happens in asana practice. We do this purification, this cleanliness, taking bath. We also have pranayamas to do this, kriyas. There's techniques to do. Yes, that's noli. We have netipot. We have different techniques to have this cleanliness. As well, meditation, right? Because our thoughts, to be more present without identifying with the thoughts, and eventually they will calm down. And you can observe them and not identify with them as much. Now then. Okay, if anyone wants to share something, just go ahead. Okay. And the second one is santosha. This is really important one. Contentment. Okay. Being content with what we have. Okay. So when a person is content, no one can take their happiness away from her or from him, from this person. And if someone doesn't have contentment, no one can make this person happy, because she's never happy. Always trying for the next thing, always focus on what she doesn't have, on what she wants, right? Not seeing what she already has, not value that. And sometimes this happens, we want something, and then when that something happens, we don't remember anymore, and we are not content because we already want another thing, right?
Yeah. Can I ask you something? If you're talking about some things that come to my mind as some kind of morality, like in a way that is brain structure. And you said that asanas can lead us to kind of change it. How does it happen, Because that's I don't know.
Yes, because when you're
connection established.
Yes, it's body mind is connected.
Of course.
Right, and when you're in the practice, your mind is focusing in one point.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So this is the first thing that's really important, to have more discernment in the mind, to be able to be focusing on the one thing. Yoga is union. So you're uniting the body, mind, soul, everything. You're bringing it to oneness. And also, we need our bodies to be strong, healthy, and clean. And the asanas has this effect as well. Because a healthier body, a stronger mind, It's also associated.
Yeah.
So this will help. If this happens, you do your practice, and then the rest happens.
Yeah. Okay.
In your life, you'll be more awareness as well.
Of course.
Because you're bringing awareness towards your body, towards how you do this, how you do that. The breathing, a more subtle part of you, that you're present.
Yeah.
So and you're doing this day by day. So you're cultivating awareness. You're cultivating being present and being united in yourself. And in long term, you will have more awareness in your day. Maybe sometimes you will, I'm not good in my posture.
Yeah.
And then maybe you're observing your pattern on your mind. Maybe you're observing your thoughts, how you're reacting,
Yeah.
You come a bit out of this body, this individual self, and you can be the observer that you already are.
Yeah.
And you can be more like that during your life. More and more awareness. This is
a process.
Yeah, it's a process.
Of course.
And it will happen in different ways in different people. We have our own path, our own awareness, consciousness will happen differently in people. But just do your practice, and the rest it comes, But this is also good to have these talks, to remember,
Yeah. Okay.
to bring reminding you.
Thank you.
So, about contentment again, queres dizer uma coisa?
I think practice is a great lab for this. Things will come up in their practice.
Yeah.
That trying to get all your focus and body and mind working towards the objective, what it is, for you to regulate the breath and go to the asanas objective. It will find challenges. Many things will be distracting you.
Yeah.
Many vicious, the poisons, the greed, the laziness will come up, and you try to, or you're too wanting so much that's gonna break your leg. You have to kind of work those things out, find the balance, I think.
Yeah. You're changing the patterns.
It takes a bit of time.
On your practice as well.
Yeah.
You know, facing fears, facing discomfort, you know, breathing in difficult situations. All of this.
Yeah.
The real patterns that rule our life are subconscious.
Of course.
So sometimes we're like getting rid of them, we're not really realizing.
What I was trying to really know is like a chemical thing, you know. It's
maybe you're breathing, you're sweating.
Because you get from the body mind to something like spiritual, and I cannot really. I know that I have to come in my experience. I really know it, but like.
There is different bodies of. On top of bodies, the most material, the mental, the emotional, and then this. That's a whole topic. But once you start to think that you work asanas in a physical, material way, and that you're also moving along with the other Niyamas, will talk how everything is a bit related.
Yes. Yeah, it will all make more sense. And also the cleanliness. So you're purifying the density in your body, and you'll be more aware of the subtle.
Of course.
You know, even sometimes, I think Suraya told that she was wanting to eat more bread, which is heavier, now she doesn't feel to eat as much, right? So you will not feel as comfortable with dense things, you know, and before you were, and you feel comfortable and you need that, you will let go, you know, it's like you're the sun and you have a lot of clouds. You will let go, the clouds will start to move on, so your answers can start shining, something like that. But the sun is always there, you know? Yeah. It's always there shining already. It's just confused. That's true. Okay, so, the person without contentment is always looking for something she doesn't have. So the focus is there, is where what she doesn't have. She always wants what she doesn't have. And for this person, you cannot guarantee that she will be happy when she has this, you know, because it's never content, so it's never enough, you know. It's like, oh, I want the next posture, I know that it's never enough, so you need to during your practice. It's really important to have contentment. It's like falling in love with our life, accepting our life, being happy with what we have. This doesn't mean that we don't want to pursue something, because it's normal to have a goal or something we want to pursue in life, but that you're already content, you're already happy here now. Wherever the result comes, you're happy. So
on the way.
So you enjoy the process instead of being goal-oriented. You are process-oriented. You're enjoying the process, enjoying life. Yes. Okay, so and one thing that can help us when we are discontent, you know, this happens to us, it's maybe thinking about something we have and being grateful for it, you know, so we change a bit the perspective, and it can help us to come to the other spectrum, you know, and start to focus more and what we have, and being grateful for what we have. Is so much small things we can be grateful for, even for being here to walk, you know, being able to walk, to see, to smell, this just little things that we never think about, but some people they don't have, you know, and this helps us to enjoy our lives. Okay, so next one is tapas. Tapas, not for eat. it's a different tapas. This is it's like the fire, it's effort, it's self-discipline. It's what we do when we come to practice every day. No matter what, if we are tired, okay, I will go to practice. You know, this is the effort, the spiritual. Okay, for spirituality, there is no spirituality without tapas, without effort. Okay, it's like the fire that will burn, and after it will transform us in the end. But we need to be willing to go through that fire to be transformed. Yes. So it's like facing your fears, facing your difficulties, because you know, okay, you're with then they're all related. You're with trust that this will help you grow, going out of your comfort zone, and that's where growth comes also. You know? Trusting the process and questioning life, examining life, saying, you know, because we are infinite beings, mistaken with finite beings, you know, we think we are illimited, and we think we limit ourselves because we think we are limited. So it's like coming out of that limitedness and see the illimited being we are. Queres acrescentar alguma coisa? Tapas?
Não.
Pode acrescentar.
Estou fluido.
Yeah, this is it's close. And the next one is svadhyaya, which is self-study. So sva is self, dhyaya is inquiry. So it's wanting to know who I am, wanting to know about ourselves. And this can happen in different ways. It's like in our practice, we are knowing ourselves. We are observing ourselves, right? And through these talks and through reading some books that help us to gain self-knowledge, it's like a mirror. It works like a mirror for us to know ourselves. You know, it's also important to know our true essence, not ourselves as this. It's like two that are one. It's like to know ourselves as this human being that we are, you know, which has likes and dislikes and some patterns, and to observe them and to be aware of them, to know of it ourselves. And as women, you know, in the woman circle, we know our cycle. How are we in different phases, how this works, and men also have different phases. And then to know our true essence, our infinite being that we are, you know, that it's untouched by all of this. Know our nature of human beings, that we are always changing. Mind is always changing, body is always changing. And know our essence, that it's not it doesn't change, and it's changeless and untouchable by all of these changes. You know. Let me see what I have here more.
Yes, Svadhyaya can happen in different, like we're talking about different layers of being. There's a more physical part of our bodies that's kind of manifesting ourselves. We can learn ourselves through that way, our more emotional and mental way of knowing what we're feeling, what we're going through. And then there's more intuitively, like what comes to your mind, what pops up, what insights you have, what is your relationships with others, you know. You can learn ourselves through all of that. Yeah. And then if there is a map of how all of us go through in life that's similar to all, sometimes these definitions of like there's a source, there's a spirit behind all of us, that's very common. Scriptures so sacred, like in Vedas and can help us to define and be that mirror we were talking about. Svadhyaya is that self-study and very, how do you say, rigorous in India. Svadhyaya means only study sacred texts, you know. If you're doing women's circle, they wouldn't consider, but it's part of the process, you know. It's part of the process to learn as much as you can through different practices,
And it's good to know how our individual works, you know, like to accept, you know, what we are as we are, and because we're always trying to change and we don't accept, you know. So it's good to have some peace as well, to know, to have this knowledge. But this higher knowledge it helps us in that as well. We learn so much as well. Meditation, it's really important as well. We can meditate in home, which is the creation of it's this essence, you know, it's this Ishvara, Om, and we can stay there and learn from that, you know, which is difficult because thoughts always come and our mind sometimes is confused, and it's hard sometimes to stay in the presence with all this confusion that is happening. So that's why we practice and we do all of this. The last one, it's Ishvara Pranidhana, which is surrender to this God, to this absolute, to this. We were in the religion. They use God. You know, sometimes we have this word distorts, like this is a man with beard, and you know. And actually, Ishvara, God, doesn't have an image. Okay, it doesn't have like a body like we do here, and it's everywhere, and it's in all of us, and everywhere in the nature, in any object, you know. What was the description?
The Yoga Sutras define Ishvara in 4 points or something. That even if you're doing japa, chanting Om, it's nice to stop, reflect on the meaning. What does Om mean? What is Ishvara? Om and Ishvara. So Om is the syllable, sacred syllable for Ishvara, which is this absolute God. And then the definition it gives is that it's not touched by raga and dvesha, which is attractions and repulsions. It's not touched by likes and dislikes. So it's the source of all. So we will not prefer Vanessa, not prefer me. So that's the thought we can erase when we're like meditating on Om and connecting with that source. We can already like start to connect with a non-egoistical part of us, and try to connect with that part that is very deep within, source of all, that is not touched by raga and dvesha. Then the other point is that is the seed of all knowledge. So it's like everything that is to know, it comes from this. Everything that there is comes from the source, the seed of all knowledge. So they say that like ancient texts, they were written because some psychics, the rishis, received information from pure source of consciousness, and then they wrote everything down, and everything became like a manifestation of some insight they have, maybe within, maybe in contact with an outer source of knowledge, or inner, doesn't matter. This idea that is the seed of all knowledge also says the third part we can define, that is like it's untouched, it's not bound by time and space. So it is here, everywhere, at the same time. It's this flow of energy, this network of energy, and then it's in all time space, you know, it's every time, all the time it's there, it's available, it's not finite, it doesn't finish, it's everywhere in space, even if we're in a very low place. It's not about like radio frequencies or if you catch the sunlight or not. It's always available to us, you know, it's this idea, that's the definition. The other thing is that is the self behind all beings, so it is like behind all this masquerade of me and my identity, there is this energy source that's Om. That would be what provides me with life.
That's where we came from and where we and what we are. Yeah.
And I think a good one to think is like it's the guru of the very first gurus. So if it's the seed of all knowledge, it's also the seed giver. It's the knowledge giver of all the knowledge teachers, you know. All the students are getting from there. It's not like no one is holding knowledge. It just comes from that lineage. It comes from, you know, we can learn something from a tree or from the sun, and it's not like we're gonna own it. It comes from there. So the idea that like there's this timeless or not bound by space thing that's behind all of us. That is the seed of all knowledge. It is the teacher of everyone. Even the first. It's a very powerful. It's not touched by raga and dvesha, although it might be done some bad and might be doing some good. It's not like wanting that. It happens. Like all of the things are included in it, and to think about that. It's very powerful. You have to think about it. If you think, one thing is to do swadhyaya, like self-inquiry, to study, to do a lot of doctor degrees and to study in college about self, to do a lot of books. The next limb, that's the last one, Ishvara Pranidhana, the surrender to this knowledge, is another part of the practice. It's not just to study, to know the verses, to know these 5 definitions I was trying to put so well, I don't know, like that, blah, blah. But the idea is to really surrender to those things and to live, to let your soul kind of dive in the knowledge you're studying when you're doing self-study. Not just like take it as a book, pass the test, and then take it home, put it in a curriculum, and then teacher training. Yeah.
Having like faith and devotion through this divine energy, you know?
Yes. Or the cosmos,
or the
natural order of things. At some point, believe that there must be a reason why. I have to see the better side of it.
And in the sutras, they say this is a way to get a kind of samadhi. Right?
What is a way?
The Ishvara Pranidhana is like a way that helps us to get into samadhi, dissolve into this.
Sure, like bhakti yoga also. Like being very devoted, singing, chanting, and to prostrate the gods, to be very, you know, not only knowledgeable but also in action, devotion, be gentle, care.
Yeah. So being in the yoga path involves all of these actions first, you know, to have this moralities that we talked on the last class, last talk. Remember about being non-violent, you know, being truthful. All of this is important. Not just practicing the Ashtanga Vinyasa Yoga, you know, doing these postures, and you know, it's important to all the steps. These 2 first are really important to have this in mind. Otherwise, we are asani. Right, you just practice asana. You just practice. So to have, to be free from this, from the pain we have here, for living here, for just always wanting to have more, always trying to fulfill desires and avoid what we don't like. You know, to get rid of this samskara. This is a wheel. It's like a wheel. It's like a snowball, you know, it just comes and comes and comes, and then we have to do some karma from our actions, you know, and to get free from this, it's important to be aware in our life, our actions, with others, with ourselves, our thoughts, not just what we do, but also what we think, if we have integrity. You know, is my thoughts aligned with my words, with my actions? You know, this is also important. And slowly, start to cultivating what you want in your life. Slowly. If you observe that you did or think about something that you don't want, don't feel guilty, you know. Accept that. Accept and breathe, you know, and start to cultivating slowly what you really want to your life. Because that's how we change the pattern. This is we've been our whole lives, you know, being taught differently. So it takes some time to go and change these patterns rooted, you know, because sometimes you can take a bit, but still some seed is there and it can sprout again, you know. To get a tree, you really need to take the roots.
In the full moon.
Yes, in the full moon. so it doesn't grow again. Don't be harsh on yourself. First is ahimsa. So, and first don't harm yourself. You know, be non-violent towards yourself. And that's the first thing, is accept yourself as you are. That doesn't mean that you don't want to improve yourself, you know. But when you remember this, your true nature, your true essence, this infinite being, you know, this energy, which is untouchable by all of these things, all of this gets even dissolved because it doesn't matter.
There is a way in Yoga Sutras they suggest for you to try and shift your patterns of behavior, which are a bit less you don't want to promote, like you do some violent action or you lie somehow and you catch yourself what to do. It says there, you know, just visualize the opposite, just focus on the opposite thing. Sit a bit and see, what if I lied, I was being brutally honest, how would I feel, how would I make other people feel, you know, how would, if I wasn't violent, how would if I was more peaceful and I managed to solve the situation in a more calm way, how would I feel? Maybe just that visualization of practicing the opposite, just visualizing might help you to, when the moment is there, you to act really steady on that. And visualizing the opposite can also be, what if it would be that someone lied to you? I wouldn't like that, so I will be thinking about it. Next time I won't do it. Like, don't do to the others what you want to do. Do what you like to yourself. This is a very good thing. Like, you just start to visualize the opposite things.
That's so simple and it seems really effective.
But we have to keep thinking about it, keep having it on.
And for this, we really need discernment in our minds, you know, and that's why we practice. One point in focus here, you know, so we can have discernment in our thoughts, our life, you know. It's like seeing if it's a buzz, our mind, and see if every thought has a ticket. If it's not, then go out. Anyone has any questions, anything you want to share? No?
And in the Sutras chapter 2, it starts this Yama Niyama part. The first verse says immediately what is the practice of yoga. And it defines, actually the definition it gives is 3 Niyamas. So we had 5, discussing 5 now, and in the first sutra it just defines the practice of yoga is only 3 niyamas, and they are tapas, swadhyaya, and ishvara pranidhana. So you will not be doing yoga if you're lazy and if you don't put effort, you know, if you don't put your effort in it, thinking about these things and visualizing the opposites, or to do your practice, to work on concentration and one-pointedness, to put measured tapas, to grab the evil thoughts, like, what you're doing, you don't have tickets, you have to go out.
And to decide to come, sometimes I'm going to give up from going out with my friends to go out and to wake up in the morning, when you're changing in the beginning, it can seem that you're giving up a lot, and this is also tapas.
But maybe you can make friends here.
Yes, of course, because maybe you're going in a different path, and that's not a bad thing, you're choosing yourself, you're choosing to work on yourself, maybe you inspire your friends.
Yeah.
And the third one is swadhyaya, so putting tapas with studying yourself, like that's also part of the practice. If you're not here to observe how you're doing, what you're doing, how is your emotion today, that's not part of the process. You're not doing yoga, so even asanas bring you a lot of things, physically, whatever. If it's physically what you can see today, if you're not able to see deeper, it's okay. Work with your physical. What is your...
Sometimes it can happen the greed, wanting more, or jealousy, that person has more than me. All these things can come up. And don't see this as a bad thing in the practice, see it as an opportunity. Grab the opportunity of working that on your mat rather than in your life.
It's okay.
It's okay.
From outside, if you're not... Nobody sees that you're grabbing the opportunity and you're kicking your mat. And if inside you're doing it in your own way, that's cool.
Okay.
Like people can think that you're like,
Yes, or rage or feelings. I'm not getting this.
Maybe in half an hour you'll be like, okay, I will grab the opportunity to see what happened. And the third one is the last one of these 5 niyamas, is Ishvara Pranidhana. Definitely kind of surrender, give your energy to a common cause, to better. I remember I focused really so much on my practice in my early years or months. I was convinced that I would purify my body so that this would be a vessel for the humanity to kind of, if I get more energy out, I can do better things and
be a better person.
Yeah, I won't be so addicted to stuff that are not good for the whole world, being greed or gluten.
No, but it makes
too much meat, this kind of things. Too much meat, violence, promote things,
And having this faith in your practice helps you as well. That you're doing something even higher than yourself.
And in your day-to-day life, it can be like saying the truth is much better than a fake smile or a lie. We're seeing this process is really true. Like it's better for you to do tapas, put the effort, put the fire in, to say the truth, to not give a fake smile, to not give a wrong impression about how you feel about someone else. Study how you feel about that and trust that it will be for the best, eventually, if you don't hurt someone during the process. Like all the three things can be happening: effort, observing yourself, and doing it with devotion, because you are that whole cosmic.
And helps you to walk lighter in life, you're not carrying like a fake, you have to be something, you have to be someone, you have to lie, you have to remember all of this. And it's kind of heavy. And just allow to just be, and you're much lighter when you're truthful and being true to yourself. Trying to be something you're not is the most tiring thing ever. And it's not worth it. It's like when you travel and you see these, especially Indians, they carry so much luggage with them, all of this luggage. And then comes someone with just a backpack, small backpack, it's so much easier. Even sometimes you can pass through, in front. It's easier.
The grocery shop happens. people are taking everything. I just have a rice, can I pass?
Yeah.
It's 20 minutes.
Yeah, so maybe we finish earlier because of this confinement stuff. Yeah, if someone wants to share something, please, or ask something.
Yes. I can say something like to thank you guys for this, because I came to Portugal and it was like taking my skin off, all this process. I was like, what the fuck is going on, And to find you guys doing this job is like, it's so nice to all of us, I guess. So thank you so much for everything. Yeah, thank you.
We are happy to share this. That's why we came here and
I say something too. That to you coming here as well, for you being here, for everyone individual coming here, we can also see what we have ourselves, So if you're embracing this too, it's also what you have inside of you, It's always mirroring. So it's just yourself, Just take it back.
Just remembering.
That's nice.
Okay, so.
Purnameva Vashishyate